Hey, all you gorgeous air signs out there. I'm thrilled to be here. This is Mary Ellen coming to you live from Moonrise Cottage for the air element readings today. And there are your cards. For those of you that are new, welcome. It's great to have you here. And welcome back to everybody who's been following along. Just a reminder, I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews. And as you can tell, we're doing something different today. I'm going to toggle over and say hello in just a moment, but I just want you to look into the cards. As you know, my spirit guides always say start with the cards and go from there so that you can look into the energy and begin to take up the flow of the energy. So, what we're going to do today, pardon me, we're going to begin a new type of discussion, Spirit says, coming out of the eclipses and all the trines and Pluto and Uranus and all the things that have been true. Spirit is talking about Neptune. An enormous shift and change has happened. And it is time for us as a collective, as a cohort, Spirit says, to begin to have a new discussion, to deepen our discussion about the energy set points and the way we work together as cohorts. And so going forward from here, I think this is going to continue to evolve, but this is what Spirit has asked me to do for all the elements. So we're going to begin to talk about elements and learn about the flow of energy and what it really means for us as a group of people weaving a tapestry in order to bring the change that we want. So let me toggle over and say hello. Hi, everybody. It's fabulous to be here. I'm very excited about the changes that are coming for all of us here on the earth, in our spiritual realm, in the way we relate to each other, and all the things that we're able to create. So it's a fabulous month. We're all being released. No planets in retrograde for you folks. And on the 11th, Mars goes direct. What could be better than that? It's fantastic. So we're going to go through the cards. I'm going to review a little bit about the astrology because Spirit wants to weave that in now. And Spirit has asked me to choose some runes. There's a very deep intertwining of messaging going forward. So I'm going to toggle back and we're going to jump in. All right. Oh, one other thing. I almost forgot. So if you're here and you're in the live chat room, I will speak with you folks. We'll have some extra time at the end of the reading to have a discussion if you'd like. If you have any questions, if you want any clarification. But I'm going to go straight through the reading without interruption because we're joining 3 readings together into one. It's going to be a little bit long. Somewhat the average length of the live streams that I do. So Spirit's been pushing me in this direction, and finally this month is this new beginning in this way for me, along with a whole bunch of other things that are happening, just like for you. So let's see. Generally speaking, each element within your air sign cohort has a line within these cards. They are all joined together so that we can discuss how it is you can share energy with each other and so that you can learn how the different energy set points attenuate themselves, vibrate with each other, and Spirit's talking about harmonic resonance, and what it is that makes up the whole. And what it is to be an air sign, so that you can begin to understand. And Spirit's talking about begin the learning, and we see that in the 3rd column. We see a student and a teacher. There are a lot of themes coming forward. One of them is new cycle, and we see that next to the student and the teacher. It's about a new cycle coming forward for everybody. And that's on the line that represents Gemini. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit about Libra. I'm going to progress into Aquarius and then Gemini. We're going to review a little bit about the astrology, just a very brief gloss over to tie that into the energies of the reading. And then we're going to go through the runes. We will then begin to explore the deeper aspects of the spiritual connection and the human walk for each sign And the row on the column on the far right is outcome, individual outcomes. And then we have the global outcome, which is this month is about courtship. And you know what? It's been true for every single reading I've done. Spirit is starting to speak through me about courtship, about romance, about love, all the things I haven't been able to do. So we have come far enough in our learning that it's time now to begin to speak to that in a very particular way. So I'm going to do my best to weave all of that into this reading, like the Queen of Knowledge, who we see sitting there on the far right column. All right, so let's jump in. Let's talk about Libra. Libra, this month, obviously, that's you. We're looking at the very bottom row. Card of balance, okay? The balancer, the justice card. There you are. And you know, the effect of the eclipses, there it is. Having been resewn, maybe split open and rewoven in a sense. And there you are, standing in all of the energy swirl that we have just come through, Spirit says, now in a place of balance, able to manage the flow of energy that's coming through you. It's phenomenal. Pardon me. When we go through these days, Spirit says, remember, just another reminder coming through, to understand how the energy of one is the energy of all. All right. So as we go through Libra, let's take a look at the rune that stands on the card for Libra. And I'm going to weave my way through the runes and through the astrology. All right, so I'm also just kind of taking a little bit of a backseat like I did last month, letting Spirit take us where the Spirit guides would like to go. And I believe that is the rune for harvest. Hang on, let me just toggle through the book a little bit, scroll through the book. Okay, so that is Berkana. I'm going to show it to you. There we go. Okay, this is the rune for harvest. And so having come through the eclipses and all the things that I was just talking about, obviously in this time of the year it is about harvest. And we are, all of us, in the process of harvesting the growth and the shift and change and the releasing. There's a lot of releasing going on. So this is attached to the Libra card. It is also about all of the air signs. Okay? So that is why it sits in that column. Libra is the basis of the energy that Spirit wants to talk about. And what it means is the Libra energy is supporting the movement of all the air signs. So Berkana is a cycle rune. It represents a form of fertility that fosters growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, in family matters, the relationship of self to the self, and also to the divine. This is a rune that leads to blossoming and ripening. Berkana is concerned with the flow of beings into their new forms. So if you take that notion and you look up the column, you'll understand the overarching message that is Spirit's intention for this reading. The action of Berkana is gentle, penetrating, and pervasive. What is called for here is to consider your issue with care and awareness. First, you must disperse resistance and then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, your motives correct. Any dark corners should be cleansed. This must be carried out diligently and sometimes with expert help. Modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity are called for. Once resistance is dispersed and rectification is carried out and seen to hold firm, then through steadfast and right attitude, the blossoming can occur. So, beautiful opening message for the air signs. And you've all been going deep like the rest of us. Your readings have been profound. And last month, Aquarius, every single card in your reading was a major arcana. And so if you look up the column from Libra to Aquarius, there you are. You're reaching the top of the mountain. You've arrived. Communicating with the energy of Eagle in order to have your blossoming. Okay? You see that beautiful air sign? Look at that. Astounding. When we talk about the energy rising through these aspects, the other thing that I love about the way Spirit is putting these readings out is that it shows the natural progression and the type of energy that each string of energy within the air sign element is carrying for the others. And so we're going to begin to learn how to access that as you go through your month, as you go through your life, understanding what's really there so that you have a broader vision about yourself and about the energy that you have available to you because you're an air sign. So, Gemini, also no surprise, look at that. That's the final card in the runes, okay? Or pardon me, in the major arcana of the deck, the perfecter of energy. You are starting a new cycle, all of the air signs. And you know, it's true for everybody, honestly. If you have the time and the inclination, go look at some of your rising signs, your moon signs. You'll see the theme that's going on with these readings. We've arrived. This is indicating a new cycle, a completion and a new beginning. And we see the beautiful swastika. You know, in ancient days, it was a sacred symbol that had to do with the power of the sacred feminine energy when it swirls, bringing change, bringing completion, bringing growth. And all those cards are here. All right. So I'm going to toggle back. We're going to take a look at the astrology for Libra, and then we'll go through each sign and just have a thought process, Spirit says, about growth, given what the astrological aspects are that are given to you. And, you know, with astrology, it's about potential. And it is we that have to activate the potential and make the decisions in order to bring things forward. So for Libra, first of all, happy birthday to all you early season Libras. It's a wonderful month, given the energy that we see, to celebrate your, Spirit says, your position on the planet. I love that. So, you know, just as a nice birthday present, the first 9 days of the month, Venus is going to be in your first house. Libra, that is all about growth, the benefits of radiant love energy, joining with all the aspects that are going to unfold as the month goes on. Right? So again, other air signs, remember, if that is the Libra energy that is the foundation. And the rest of the signs are the notes, right? And you all together, you create a chord. All of these aspects available to you in some way. So on the 6th of the month, Mercury joins the Sun in the 12th house. You know, and it's interesting because everybody this month is having this deep dive in the 8th house and the 12th house, and it's true for the air signs as well. All right. So the ability to communicate with yourself, with the spirit realm, and with those around you about this very mystical nature of this house goes forward and becomes enlivened. And then on the 9th, the new moon is happening in the 12th house. So it's a deep month. You're going deep, Libra. You're going to, be going through a process where you have the ability to release the past and to heal and to go inward. And if you take a look at the far left side of the reading, we see on the very top left, that is the indication of healing. So as we all move, as the air signs move together through these energies, the indications that are coming through the cards are representative to help you understand the astrology. And vice versa. Spirit says I'm saying it a little bit backwards, but you get the point. So, on the 9th of the month, go inward. Be quiet. Be in relationship with yourself. And actually, it's a good moment, Spirit says, to begin to reach out to the cohort and begin to feel the strings of their energy. So you can weave that into your being and understand the very beginning um, experience and notions of reaching out within your cohort to vibrate in a form of harmonic resonance when you're in the deep place. It's the perfect place from which to have that experience, Spirit says. So, take your quiet time. It's a new beginning in the 12th house. That, in and of itself, is a fabulous notion. So, seize the moment, Spirit says, because Mercury is direct. You can communicate with yourself in this very deep place and with others. All right. You may have some psychic dreams. You may have some. Spirit's talking about communication on the psychic realm. So, be prepared for some of that, and allow yourself to go into that deep place and kind of rest there. Just hover there, like we see the display of the card in the balancer of energy. It's beautiful. On the 10th, Venus then joins Jupiter in your second house. It's about developing your talents and gifts. Beautifying your house, obviously, your personal, the way you see yourself, your self-esteem, your inner self, and having the ability to expand love, financial abundance, the development of your talents, your power to move your life forward. It's beautiful. And then thank the gods, Mars goes direct the next day. And it's going direct in the 5th house of Libra. So take action, right? Go dancing, have fun, plan to do something joyful. Understand the joy that rests within these aspects on, as we go through the month. And, we all know that has to do with romance. But, it's romance in such a way that it's just the joy of it for fun. Just, if you have a loved one, go do something fun together. It's a perfect day for that. And, if you're looking for somebody new in your life, maybe that's the day you go out and you do something fun for yourself and you run into somebody and you get to have some time with that person. On the 22nd, the sun moves into Libra. Your solar return comes. What are your dreams? And while you're in that moment with the 12th house, start formulating that from the deepest part of your aspect. Know that the moment is coming of your solar return. Plan for that. Mars is going to go forward, and you're going to have a few days before that in order to go into that deep place, to draw from your deepest self, your super conscious, Spirit says, what you'd like to do on your solar return when Mars goes forward and your solar return comes. What are the dreams you have? What are your wishes for the coming year? And it's interesting that we do see this aspect of the perfecter of energy. It's all about the coming year because a completion has happened. On the 24th, there's a full moon in your house of relationships. Fantastic. Illuminations, bringing things into the light, culminations, the ability to find balance in this place in your life. Do you need to make any changes there? Do you want to find love? Is that part of your desire? Business opportunities? What's on your mind when it comes to relationships? So, again, for everybody, just to understand, these are the aspects. And again, we see it reflected in the cards. I am going to go through them. So, that's Libra. Beautiful Aquarius. Your reading was so amazing. You know what? If you folks have not seen the reading for Aquarius from last month, go check it out because it will blow your mind. So now we have this foundation with Libra. We're moving into the energy moves through the month into the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius, you have reached the top of the mountain. No doubt. No doubt. Okay? Look at that. Connecting directly with the divine, with source energy. If you don't know anything about eagle as a totem animal or as animal medicine, go and look it up online, okay? There is this notion of intense completion last month and standing still in that. And now, of course, all the stock energy is released and you have momentum to go forward with everything that was revealed to you last month. And I love The Spirit is talking directly, clearly to you about this notion. And same thing, no personal planets retrograde. Venus is in your ninth house for the first 9 days of the month. Travel, study, meetings, new relationships, going deep with spiritual learning. All those aspects. I'm trusting that you guys know, and I'm just giving you the reminder overview. Spirit says, go check out your favorite astrologer. Look deeply into the message of the cards as it relates to the astrology and the rune readings that are going to come out. Okay? So, on the 9th comes the new moon, and it's in your 8th house. Again, going deep, all about financial matters, contracts, legal stuff. It's also about shared resources. It's about love energy. It's about love energy in the placement of your sexual power. So you may be experiencing that, the rise of that, becoming more aware. Spirit's talking about transmuting the energy within that place so you can go deeper into the metaphysical when it comes to that, those desires, that issue, that type of power in your life. On the 10th, Venus and Jupiter come into your 10th house. Aquarius, Metatitha, you know I'm speaking to you, okay? In your 10th house of career, Venus and Jupiter. Seize this moment, write down your dreams and aspirations, make a literal plan for how you are going to reach success, and then do some work. Go on the internet and look at how do I manifest, and do it every single day, and let your fears drop away because there is no reason to have them at all. And that is what prevents you from manifesting what you want. And Spirit's showing you through the card, you are in the moment where you can manifest it. And you know what? I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but look to the left, Aquarius, there's the shamaness. There's nothing holding you back, right? So if you have thoughts like that, let them go. The day after Venus and Jupiter transit into your 10th house, Mars goes forward in your first house of self. Spirit just shouting, right? Take action, take action. Move forward with your plans, feeling confident, knowing that you can achieve them. On the 22nd, the sun goes into your 9th house. Again, illuminating this place, expansion. And it's about travel and business and meetings and learning, isn't it? Make your plans for the month in order to utilize these aspects because the potential is there, but it is you that has to activate it. And then on the 24th, the full moon happens in your 3rd house, illuminating communications, networking, completion of contracts. So that's what it's all about for you, Aquarius, if you should decide to take it up. All right? And then let's talk about Gemini. Gemini, you know, I sort of feel like Libra's here on the earth, which is why it's in that position, you know, bringing balance, right? Definitely an air sign, but just working on that. Aquarius, it's all about creating, isn't it? Something new. Going forward. Aquarius is like the Capricorn of the earth signs, right? Or the Capricorn representation within the air signs. That's what Spirit's saying. And Gemini, you are the bridge always when these readings come out to the metaphysical, to the spiritual realm. You carry within the trilogy of the air signs. That is the energy you carry. So again, be aware of your position. It's why your readings are always so deep and metaphysical. So, you know, for you, for the astrology, same thing. Venus in your 5th house, first 9 days of the month. You have reached a point of completion, and now you can go forward. So what kind of joy would you like to create? What kind of fun do you want to have? Do you want to have romance? Do you want to have partnership in a lighthearted way? If you're already committed or you're already in a partnership, bring joy to that place in your life very deeply and celebrate all that has come before this moment, Spirit says. Then on the 6th, your ruler Mercury joins the sun in your 4th house of home. So, you know, Venus in the 5th house, your ruler goes direct in the 4th, then there's a new moon in your 4th house on the 9th. You have this opportunity to bring joy and positive change and comfort right where you live, where your heart lives, where your home is, within your partnerships, with your kids, all those things, all those notions about home, right? New beginnings within the family. Maybe you want a new baby, I don't know. Think about the things that you desire as you go forward in this new beginning, bringing more beauty and joy into your life right in your home. I love that for you. On the 10th, Venus transits into your 6th house with Jupiter, supporting the things I just said, right? Health, work, service, expansion of love in these areas in your life. So, do you have a desire to bring love and service, the expansion of love and service into your home, into the world, into your business relationships, into yourself? How is it that you expand yourself? How is it that you love yourself? What do you need to do to take care of yourself? Spirit's talking to me about your home again, right? While your home is so illuminated and so vibrant, maybe that's the moment of support that you need in order to go forward with taking care of your own self. It's beautiful aspects. Mars goes direct again, same thing, right? On the 11th, it's in your 9th house of travel, deep mystical learning, taking a retreat, teaching, perhaps. On the 22nd, the sun transits into your 5th house, supporting all the things that have been going on, all more fun, enjoyment, romance, kids, projects. What is it you'd like to create in this month going forward? And the full moon is in your 11th house, illuminating and bringing completion to your social circles, your relationships, widening them. So there may be some friendships, relationships, etc., that fall away, that come to completion. It might be something you're working on with someone else that comes to completion, so that a new phase can start there. Something begins, something finishes. The whole sector is illuminated. So take your power in these moments when you have the perfecter of energy sitting right where you live. Okay? So what Spirit would like to do next is to do a little bit of a review in a general sense of the relationship to the place where your energy set point resides within the reading, and talk a little bit about the notions on the spirit realm. Because what we have here is we have a structure now that on the far left, those are the spirit cards that are attached to your journey. They also indicate the rise of the energy through the cohort, through the element. Spirit's talking about the elemental power as a group, and talking again about attenuation. So if we look at the card on the bottom left, that is the augury of knowledge. It is part of the Libra journey, definitely. And the rune that sits there is a beautiful rune that has to do with opening. It is about the torch, the fire, igniting. And the card that sits aligned with it is the augury of knowledge, and it is about being ignited. Okay, here's the card. Check it out. That's about self-activation. Look at that. Obviously, transformation. This is a prophecy about the way the energy streams into you and through you. And you see the indication of the new moon? All right. So when you reach this new moon moment, Spirit says, understand the deeper implications of what it means in your life. No matter what your attenuation set point is within the air element, this applies to you. And what's interesting to me, I always love the way Spirit serves up these readings. So there's the card, and look at the room. Okay? Gorgeous, reflective of each other. So I'm going to toggle back so you can look at it while I read to you from the book about this rune and a little bit about that card. So this is the rune of opening. It is about fire. It is about the torch, lighting the way. Look at the card. This is the rune of opening and renewed clarity, dispelling the darkness that has been shrouding some part of your life. You are now free both to receive gifts and to know the joy of non-attached giving. And I think that's why there's so much activity in the 5th house. In a sense, it's not about making commitments. It's just about the pure light of joy and being able to have lightness of being and have fun, right? This rune is Kano, the rune for the morning of activities, for serious, clear intent and concentration, all of which are essential at the beginning of any endeavor. One of the 13 cycle runes. So, again, an augury, a new prophecy about what is coming forward. It is a beginning point, and the rune reflects the card that is there. A moment for serious, clear intent and concentration, all of which are essential at the beginning of any endeavor. This rune offers protection. The protection that is offered has to do with light. The more light you have, the better you can see what is trivial and outmoded in your own conditioning, because this also is a time for releasing. In relationships, there can now be a mutual opening up, which you may trigger and set in motion through your awareness that the light of understanding is once again available to you and your partner, if you have one. And Spirit's saying, or the desire to have a partner, if that's part of what's happening with the activation of the fifth house for everybody. Recognize that while on one hand you are limited and dependent, on the other hand you exist at the perfect center where the harmonious and beneficent forces of the universe merge and radiate. It's given me a chill the way the rune and the card reflect each other. Simply put, if you've been operating in the dark, and we all have because of the eclipses and everything that's been going on, we've been pushed really deeply inward because of the retrogrades, and now we emerge. If you've been operating in the dark, there's now enough light to see that the patient on the operating table is you. So as the month goes forward, this is the foundation. And Libra, yes, we're talking about you because this is your line of cards. It is also true that you are lighting the way for the cohort, bringing this energy in to the strings of energy that make up the triad of the air sign elements. It's intensely beautiful. So Spirit says, let's skip up that column a little bit and talk about the Morrigan, because there she is standing with the beautiful Aquarius set point. That is what lights your way, right? So if the augury of knowledge is here for everyone, that is what Libra brings to the party, Spirit says. And Aquarius, what your energy draws in, is a shamaness here to help you attend to the battles that you are the things you're striving for, here to help you cross over and capture the energy so that you can reach the success that you are literally striving for. And I know that it's true because of the conversations that I have with people who have this set point. And it's been going on for a while. You guys have been working hard for a while. The last year or so has been really difficult because so much has been happening to transform us. And now the moment of arrival is here. And above the beautiful Morrigan, we see liberation. And that is what Gemini, no surprise, that's what Gemini brings to the party. Spirit's talking about, all right, I'm going to toggle over for a minute. All right, Spirit's talking about, you guys are having a party. All right, let me show you this card. Each one of you is bringing an attenuated form of energy to put on the table, like a potluck, all right? Everybody brings a little something, Spirit's saying stone soup. So you bring a little something because of the energy that you exude and the energy that you draw in. So this is the spirit realm. This is for you in your set point, a pointed message, but also available to everybody else because of the way the energy flows and rises through the reading, meaning how it flows and rises into and weaves itself among the various air sign set points. Okay, beautiful, like in just mind-blowingly beautiful. I'm not surprised because you guys, your readings have been so fabulous. So liberation, the liberation of your devotion going through this portal because the shamaness is there. You know, so look at that left line. The first step, activation on the new moon. Take that message very seriously. Then the shamaness shows up because the opening has happened. Carries you through this liberation moment, liberating your devotion so that it can give its attention to that which you desire. No matter if you're a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini. And delivering that energy into the beautiful sacred woman of healing in order to finish the cycle. And you see how she is diagonally aligned with the perfecter of energy that is all about the completion of a cycle and the beginning of something new. It's interesting to me. So there we go. So what I always get about this card is this woman has blonde hair because it's a notation of light. It's not about her. It's not about her cultural heritage per se. Okay, and what she's doing is she's picking herbs and healing, for healing rather, from that which has fallen away. That's a gravestone. She has a lot of knowledge, and she is in this reading aligned with the Morrigan, the sacred shamaness, who carries you across the portal in order for you to have this moment of healing in the month of September. And again, doesn't matter where you lie. Spirit's showing me a sheet of music and has been talking about music a lot, I think because of the notion of harmonic resonance. So no matter where your note is on the music, true for you. And you have helped bring it forward for all the other people that you travel with and within the fire sign cohort. Okay, beautiful. So going forward from there, let me just ask Spirit, where do you want to go? Because this is such a new adventure. Okay, so now we're going to go across the top row a little bit. Spirit wants to talk about this next card. Everything having been said about the row that indicates your set point, right? Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The purpose of this rising, the balancing and reaching the pinnacle, which then becomes reflected in the completion, the perfecter of energy. The point of all of that is reintegration. And that's why the healing comes to the left. That's what's needed. And the spiritual journey, that's what it's all about. It's about reintegration. So this card has come out a lot this month. This is about Merlin, dressed in blue, having a sacred dialogue, a skillful dialogue about what it is to come to healing. And that's literally what is happening in this story. Okay, so if you don't know, Merlin, sacred magician, that's the other thing that I love about the choice of this card for you folks. Because of the magic that's in your lives and the magic that you embody and bring to the planet, Spirit says, when you incarnate here in this way. Merlin became mad, right? Nowadays we would call it PTSD because of all the battles that he went through. And a good friend of his had, heard about it, went out to find him in order to help him reintegrate. So that's the process that you're going through, in a sense, when we think about the notion of harvest and healing and opening, so that you can reintegrate with yourself and with your cohort and begin to vibrate together consciously, knowing that that is part of what Spirit wants. That's the next phase of our journey. That's why we've come to a completion, all right? Because something new is starting. Okay. So, Spirit would like to talk now about the column of cards that is third from the left. We're going to start with the rune. So, again, pay attention to the cohort and understand that the card and the rune affect everybody. The card standing there is the guardian of the gateway. It's beautiful. That is the High Priestess. She is known as the guardian of truth. And Libra, isn't that perfectly ordained, Spirit says, for you? It's really lovely. And so again, as a foundation set point for the reading, that notion rises and draws in the energy that is meant to come to help the rest of the cohort. She is the gateway. And when the gateway opens, much is revealed. And that beautiful rune, okay, Spirit wants me to talk about that with you. So that actually is the rune for a fertile season of 1 year. So we have had a completion, definitely, and we are going forward renewed. This rune is a rune of beneficial outcomes. Its name is Jera. It applies to any activity or endeavor to which you are committed. Be aware, however, that no quick results can be expected. A span of time is usually involved, hence the keywords 1 year, symbolizing a full cycle before the reaping or the harvest, which we already talked about, or the deliverance can occur. So Spirit wants me to pause for a moment and again, just gently remind you to see how the notion of the completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle is reflected within the Libra energy, the Aquarius energy, and the Gemini energy. And each of you carry that message and that potential. You carry it in your own way because your energy set point is a little bit different. And when you join all these things together and you begin to vibrate together, therein lies the full power of the air sign element. Okay? So you have prepared the ground and planted the seed, and now you must cultivate with care over the next year. To those who labor, to those whose labor has a long season, a long coming to term, Jera offers encouragement of success, knowing that the outcome is in the keeping of providence, and continue to persevere with your efforts. Remember that the old story about the farmer who was so eager to assist his crops that he went out at night and tugged on the new shoots. There is no way to push the river. Equally, you cannot hasten the harvest. Be mindful that patience is essential for the recognition of your own process, which in its season leads to the harvest of the self. It's fantastic. So, when we see this notion standing in the gateway, ready to go forward and harvest, and we take that energy and we see how it rises through the cohort. Of course, the very next thing, and it's standing at Aquarius because you've had such an intense journey last month, of course you're going on a new soul journey. Absolutely. No question about it. And you know what I love about this? And you guys have probably all heard me say this. There's the energy awakened through the chakras at the spine, right? While we have our symbolic slumber as human beings. And the energy goes and rises through the portal. It's phenomenal to me, the way this is aligned with the rest of the cards in the reading. And there's the sacred bowl of healing and renewal. And there's destiny turning. You're walking out into the universe for the next phase of your soul journey in order to complete the cycle and have the new journey toward healing, toward destiny. Bravely going deep. And I love that it's coming and that it comes. Spirit wants me to do this, okay? Like this. It's the natural progression of the energy. Again, for you as an Aquarius, but within the set point of the air elements. Okay? And what's above that? Of course, more dialogue. This is a dialogue about knowledge. The prior dialogue was about skill, about coming home to yourself, about reintegration. Now it's time for new learning. And of course it is, because now we're on the line that indicates Gemini. So where would you go? If you complete a cycle, you got to start something new, don't you? Okay? So the dialogue of knowledge comes, the natural progression of the energy moving through the set point, pardon me. Do you see how there's a man standing there pointing at the turning of destiny? It's phenomenal how these cards are lined up. So this is about a young man who was meant to be, it's interesting, Spirit's calling him a healer. Maybe there's something wound up in some of your desires as a Gemini and within the entire cohort. Really what he was in the story of the card was a wisdom holder. And A moment came when he had to go home and take up the chair of his lineage, and he didn't feel ready. So, Spirit's acknowledging you're on a new cycle. Sit in the new cycle in this way. Don't worry about it. Like the rune story just said, don't worry about it. You got time. Your teacher is here. You've got what you need. You're going to be traveling forward now into a new skill set, and Spirit wants to have a dialogue with you about it. So you're probably going to have some downloads because because planets are in the 12th house and the 8th house, and if you look toward the left across that row, there you are in the portal, being liberated into this new phase in your life where you have a new start, a completion and a new start. It's really beautiful. Okay? And above that, as the energies join together through the cohort, we see the Spinner of Growth, a major arcana card, here to help the energy that you are drawing to yourself and drawing into, Spirit's calling it the orchestra of the air sign set point. That's why I was seeing a sheet of music, right? Understand that that's literally what's happening. And when these moments come over the next year, as we go forward with this training, because it is training, if you look again at that card below. And so Spirit's telling me, okay, look from the bottom up and understand the full story of the orchestra of the air sign element. Each of you bringing a certain type of attenuated energy to the symphony that you are literally creating. And when that happens, of course, the next step is growth. And that is the Spinner of Growth. That is a major arcana card. And you know what I love about this? What Spirit's talking about in this moment is just like a tree takes in the energy of the sun, from the wind, from the rain, all the energy that it is able to take in its stable place of existence, having come through this journey thus far, the purpose of it is to create seeds and send them out on the winds of change. And that's what this is all about. And I love the way it's reflected here. And it's a lot of intense, it's power, okay? This is the power of Mars coming through your energy set point. Let me toggle back. So Spirit wants you to see that's the reflection of Mars going direct. Power, a lot of power. Things open. You go forward on the next part of your journey. Your teacher arrives, and then you take the energy in, transmute it, and begin to send the seeds of that intention forward into the world. That's phenomenal. It's astounding. I mean, seriously, you guys always blow my mind. The bravery and the power that you have. And now you begin to vibrate together consciously. And I personally, I'm going to talk about it. I am so excited about this change. So deeply excited. So part of what's interesting to me is that for you folks, this month in September, there's a little bit of discussion about romance. It is joyful. There is some energy in the 5th house, the 7th house, the 8th house. Those things are going to affect you. Spirit's been talking to everybody about, you know what? Part of the reason the discussion is this way is Spirit wants us all, and it's been true for everybody, right? All the signs, all the elements. When this type of energy gets released internally, it is part of the natural progression. Our chakras awaken, and you're going to feel stimulated in all these places. It's very important to understand the astrological set point of the energy as it moves through the month and how it moves through you individually and then your cohort, so that you can, if you decide to be in relationship, Spirit's talking about love relationships and sexual relationships and committed relationships, right? Romance. Spirit is now talking about that stuff, and I haven't been allowed to be talking about it for a year and a half, but I think because everything has shifted, Spirit's going, all right, we're going for it now because everybody's going to be feeling it. So there are fated meetings, I've talked about it before, that are going to happen, and it's going to be intense. And our responsibility as individuals, as spirit beings in these days, as we go forward into some of the events that are going to happen, and Spirit's saying, even within the people who are already mated and married and committed, You have a responsibility and an opportunity, Spirit says. Spirit's telling me, don't be so heavy about it. It's, that's some of my Virgo set point coming through because I'm all about responsibility, but I think there's truth in both sides. So, yeah, it's an opportunity to be who you really are and to understand in any given moment when you're making decisions about relationships in love or family or business, to understand what is the astrology of the month? What is the energy attenuation of the month? Do you need some help from your cohort? Are you willing to be honest? Spirit saying honest and true with yourself so that you understand how you show up for those events with other people and be responsible for your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, needs, desires, and be able to actually know what they are and be able to communicate them. So again, the fourth house, the third house, the ninth house, all that stuff, all these places where this cohort is illuminated, that's part of the message. So that's the other thing that I guess we're going to be learning about. Spirit just won't stop talking about it. When it first started coming out, I think it was in the water sign elements, I was like, oh, please, don't make me talk about that. But you know what? I got over it. So here we are. So if you have any questions about that, when the reading's over and I get to the fun, Spirit says, of talking in the chat, I'm happy we can talk about that, okay? And look deeper. So let's carry on. The row on the far right is about some more of the Spirit's talking about sort of individualized outcomes and a global outcome. And we do have an outcome for the reading. It is about relationships. It is about courtship. It is about courtships of art and moving past obstacles. So that's what that whole speech, I guess, was about. And Spirit's just focusing on it. It is time for us to come into relationship. And Spirit primarily wants to talk about energy and the movement of energy so that we can understand ourselves in the deepest possible way and be present in the way that truly, I'm going to toggle back for a second. Spirit saying, in the way that we really want to. These are the deepest desires that all human beings have. And we need to learn about how to wield the power of those types of things in order to achieve the results we want. So, part of the message is apply love, apply joyfulness this month. And if you stumble and you fall and you make a mistake, just, there's a video that I posted at some point, a couple times, I think. Spirit saying, go online and look up Thich Nhat Hanh. He had a discussion with Oprah, and there's the 4 mantras. Spirit wants you to apply that to yourself and to your beloved. Those are the words, and I think that's reflective of part of the words that come out in that video. And it's just about being present. Whether you're doing great or whether you stumble or you get into an argument or, whatever that is, time. Because that also is going to help us change our vibration so that we can begin to step into deeper vibrations that are going to be available to us this year. That's where we're going. I have no doubt after all these readings are coming out, and it's certainly true for me, right? So, to take somebody like me that's a hermit and make me decide, okay, I'm going to go have some fun now, that ain't easy, Spirit says. I'm getting teased. All right, jumping back into the cards. So, let's go to the bottom row again. The last card on the Libra line that initiates the energy forward is the Warrior of Skill. And it is about responding to sacred impulse that comes when you balance your energy and you go through your activation and you stand at the gateway and you're able to come into this moment of opening. The gateway swings open, and the very first thing that happens is you begin to respond to the impulses that happen because of the movement of that energy. And there's the guy who's got his magic wand. I know somebody who works with wands now. So now when I see this card, that's what I think about. You got your magic wand. It's about power, right? This beautiful warrior, male energy, with this beautiful horse, purity of intention, and the ability to move forward with purity of intention and respond to the sacred impulse that comes in all the ways I've been talking about. Okay, so going forward from there, let's take a look at the rune that sits there. That is the rune Ansuz, Ansuz. Let me show it to you. Okay, hang on. I love the discussion that's coming forward. All right, there it is. All right. And if you want to make, the Spirit says, make a little drawing of that. You can go online and look it up. Okay, I'm going to read to you from the book. This is about signals. It is about messages. It is about the god Loki. So Spirit says you can Google all that stuff and you'll understand a little more. The keynote here is receiving. Receiving messages, receiving signals, and receiving gifts. Even a timely warning may be sent as a gift. The message may be that of a new life unfolding when you receive this rune. New lives begin with new connections, surprising linkages that direct you onto new pathways. Take care now to be especially aware during meetings, during visits, during chance encounters. Okay, I already gave the speech, I think. Particularly with persons wiser than yourself. When the messenger rune brings sacred knowledge, you are truly being blessed. Loki is the ancient trickster from the pantheon of the Norse gods. He is, and I can't say the name, he is also associated with Native Americans, a mocking shadow of the Creator, as well as the bringer of benefits to humankind. He is a reminder that even scoundrels and thieves can be the bearers of wisdom. When you draw this rune, expect the unexpected. The message is always a call to a new life. Ansuz is the first of 13 cycle runes. I love that. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Oh my God. You know what? I love my job. I just got to say it out loud. It's just so much fun. Oh my gosh. So, obviously all the things haven't been said. You are starting a new cycle, all of us. All of us. And all the things that are being read reflect everything that's here in the cards and the stuff that's coming forward. Channeled information through me. All right. So, part of what's happening in the bed, my spirit guides are a little snarky. And I can hear them laughing. Because, this was saved for last, just to drive home the point. And the other thing I love about this guy in the deck is known a little bit as he's unruly, right? He doesn't stick to the rules. He waits for the impulse and then he goes for it. And, the Spirit says he draws outside the lines a little bit. So the other thing I think about this that's coming through is this notion of creativity. Because of the way the planets are aligned and because of the way the energy comes through the cards and because we are now aligned in our cohorts, you have a lot of energy to draw from to be highly creative while you work on your endeavors and seek to respond to the impulse that comes from within you, right? Okay, gosh, where did I leave off? Okay, so this is the first of the 13 cycle runes that bring us toward a moment of initiation. The cycle runes focus directly upon the mechanism of self-change, and as such, addresses our need to integrate unconscious motives with conscious intent. And again, Spirit's talking about our relationships and the way we manifest and the way we show up. If we're going to show up for a relationship on any level, you got to show up clear. You got to be standing in your place. You got to know what the energies are that are affecting you in the moment. That's the pathway to success. Drawing this rune tells you that connection with the divine is at hand. And we can see that if we look at the line of cards, the column that indicates the air signs. It is a signal to explore the depths and the foundations of life and to experience the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine within your nature. At the same time, you are reminded that you must first draw from the well to nourish and give to yourself. Then there will be more than enough to nourish others. There is a new sense of family solidarity invested in this room. And again, I believe that Spirit is speaking to the notion of beginning to be able to vibrate together, to have a conscious intention to do that, and to understand what you bring. Spirit's calling it to your brethren, right? To the people of your trine, of your triad. So that is fabulous. Libra, that's your energy string this month, right? And how you affect the attenuation of the others. So let's take a look at the outcome for Aquarius. The beautiful Queen of Knowledge. And again, meditate, the Spirit speaking to you. Look, there she is, weaving the strings of your destiny. All that you've been working on. I can't wait to hear from you. All right. Spirit says maybe we should have a session. All right, look. Aquarius, given where you were last month, and you know what? If you're here and you have not seen that reading, even if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, go click on it. Wait till you see the cards. Of course, the next step is weaving the strings of all that energy that came forward into your own tapestry in order to bring your destiny forward. This is the Queen, the great grandmother of knowledge, okay? She sits suspended in the universe, weaving together the strings of your destiny. And if you look across that row, I'm going to toggle back into what your destiny is. She works directly with the Morrigan, the sacred shamaness. And there you are, between the two of them, reaching the pinnacle and going out for the next part of your soul journey in order to step into your destiny and your healing. It's fabulous. Gemini. For you, on the outcome line, there is a prophecy. Because your teacher has shown up, you are in a new place. Spirit says, it's all, Spirit saying, it's all in the realm of, well, of course, right? Yes, that's how it works. Love this for you. This card has come up a lot as I've been going through the readings. This, and there's one card that's not here. My prediction was it's going to be in every single cohort. I didn't make it, but this card also very frequent. Spirit's talking about the reflection of the two. All right, so this is a prophecy. So I'm going to toggle back to the cards. Look at the prophecy on the bottom left. The awakening, the activation of your power, the opening of the energy coming through at the new moon to bring this transformation. Now we see another prophecy. Okay? Within the Gemini set point, this is the culmination of that energy that comes in through the Libra set point. That's how that vibration affects you. It brings forward a prophecy about your ability to step into a new skill set and to wield this very powerful spear of Lu, which clears away obstacles and brings forward your desires. A prophecy about the skill set that you've come into and the way in which you sit, able to wield that weapon, that force, that intention. It's male energy, of course, driving it forward, and it has to do with having been through your transformation. And you sit open from the will center, through the heart center, through the throat center, and the third eye, and obviously, because of the line of cards, the crown chakra. There you go. And I love that you have assistance while you go through this portal and all of this new learning comes forward. There's someone or some aspect that's going to arrive into your life that is going to be accompanying you in that way as an advisor, a supporter, maybe a teacher, I don't know. But when we see the cards aligned this way, coming through the portal to this moment of completion, finding yourself in a place of power that you didn't expect to be in. So you're freaking out a little bit. That's the story of that card with the young man and the teacher. And you know what? He also has a magic wand in his hand. Look at that. Okay? There's a lot of magic in the air for the air signs. No doubt, because of where you've been and where you're going. So, this young guy, he's also been transformed, hasn't he? He was out in the world adventuring, and he had to travel home in order to start his new road. And he wasn't prepared, so he disguised himself to look wise. And this guy came to visit. They had a long dialogue about knowledge, because his lineage was to be a knowledge holder for the tribe, for the clan. Okay, Spirit's talking about society, etc., etc., all right? And you are Gemini. And again, remember, this is the attenuation of your energy within the cohort and what you bring. This kind of knowledge, training, in order to bring forward prophecy about the new skill set. Okay? Is it this way? I think it's this way. There's no mistake in the alignment of these cards whatsoever. Spirit says, wanting you to just really understand and go deep within all the notions that I've been chattering about. So above that, while we're at it, Spirit says, and we're responding to sacred impulse, receiving those signals, weaving the strings together, coming into a prophecy. The next piece of assistance that you will need is someone to assist you with your growth. I guess I was literally just talking about, but there's the Major Arcana card that sits on the top row. That's the Great Mother. You come across the portal. You stand at the gateway. You go on your soul journey. You come into your apprenticeship and this prophecy. And while there, of course, the Great Mother arrives. Major Arcana energy, a lot of power, bringing with her the gifts that you will need, the bounty that you will need in order to have this journey on the human realm and to do your mission. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Okay, so there's another piece of this the Spirit wanted me to talk about. Almost forgot. I've been talking about your purpose for a long time, and it's one of the reasons that Spirit has not allowed us, to think, even though I know everybody does, about relationships, about love, about commitment, because our first job is to find our purpose. And I've been saying, you are your purpose. And, Spirit wants now to deepen the discussion the way it's happening today and to help you understand a little more, I think, about what it means that you are your purpose. These are the energies that you bring. It's the only purpose you have. That's why you incarnated here. Spirit wants me to deepen the discussion about the strings of energy and the type of energy that you vibrate, literally, because we're going to start going deep. I'm going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to make a little video and talk about it, but I'll just give you a little teaser ad. Part of what I have the capacity to do, because my energy and the way I vibrate, I have the ability to have a soul journey with another person and to be able to understand and to see their energy and to help them bring forward the flow of energy that they are meant to have in a very healing way so that their journey can go forward and they can reach their goals and come into their purpose in order that they have the ability to activate their mission. Hang on. All right. So we have all those aspects here and the support that you're going to need. All right. So Spirit's going to start talking about your mission, because the felt sense that I have is Spirit is talking about, we've had, since I've been here, the people who come to this channel, a year and a half of training, digging deep, finding our purpose, understanding our energy set point, and now being in a position where we're now able to take the next step of learning, which is once you command your purpose, meaning your energy, and you become who you are meant to be in your understanding and your ability to wield that. Oh, that's what this is about. Okay? The ability to wield that weapon, that magic wand, that remover of obstacles. That's what that's all about. Then you will find your mission if you are meant to have one. Spirit says, don't take it on as a burden. But many of us feel that inner drive also. That is why you are your purpose, your only purpose. Your mission is something that comes from your purpose. And it's just such a beautiful message. I love it. And so, of course, the outcome is this dialogue. This courtship. All right. Also, relatively new placement, the courtship of art. All the things I've been talking about, yin and yang energy. There's courtship. We talked a lot about the 7th house and the 5th house and the 8th house. And all right. Spirit says, we've been through enough training. Now it's time. We can start talking about it because there's a lot of information there too about the energy that you share with another person and our joys and our responsibilities if we decide to step into that part of our life or if we're already in there and now we're seeking a reset and asking our partner, would you come along with me so that we can take the next step in our journey? It's hard, Spirit knows. Okay? This couple had to find a way to move past an obstacle, encapsulate the obstacle so it did not affect them. That's the outcome. So Spirit's talking about primarily for this reading, that message about this has to do with removing the obstacles, okay, that stand in the way of your understanding of melding with this triad in which you exist for a specific purpose. Those days, I think, are ending. That's why this new training is beginning, Spirit says, right? Telling me hold up all the cards. Because it's time. And I love that that's the outcome for this reading. Because, for me, it sort of draws it all together. All the things that Spirit's been talking about. All the things I've been talking about. And you know what? All the things I dream about. Because that's how I want. I want to walk through the world like this. With the impediments gone. So that we can actually relate to each other and begin. Okay, here's the message coming through. And begin the process of relating to each other in a very deeply vibratory way. And Spirit's been talking a little bit sort of through some of the readings about encouraging me to use the common language that people use to describe those kinds of experiences. Soulmate and twin flame and 3D and 5D and 7D and, blue rays and purple rays and all that stuff. What the heck does that mean? Does anybody know? In terms of experience. So that's what we're going to be doing, I think, for the next year. We're going to be practicing. We're going to be learning. Our teacher is here. So I'm going to be channeling messages from Spirit about that. I'm going to be hosting individuals and I think groups to come here literally to have a journey with me and my spirit guides in order to get that learning, to have an initiation and to remove blockages so that they can have the help that they need. Going forward, that's my job. That's what Spirit's talking about, igniting the tapestry. That's part of it. And we're going to be having journeys, I believe, like we did during the last cycles of the full moon and the eclipse, journeying out into the universe together. And you know what? Air sign people, we need you for that. All right. So there may be Spirit saying there's going to be some requests coming forward through me. The Spirit's doing this, like through my mouth about that. So a Spirit is very serious about the attenuation of your energy and your ability to understand how you vibrate individually, how you vibrate as a group, how you can come together for a moment of travel so that we can do those things that are meant to be done in order for the vibration and the energies to come forward to reach the destination that we all want, which is union, courtship, right? Without blockages, without any issues that keep us from each other And it is a process. You know, like the rune said, it's not going to happen instantly in a moment. It's a process, a journey that we're going to go on together over the next year because the seeds have been planted. I think by all the eclipses and the cycles of the moon and Pluto. God bless. Thank God for Pluto. All right. So I think that's a wrap on the reading. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to toggle back to the cards and let you look into that for, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute or something in order to make a place to clip off the video so that I can publish it. And then I will go to the chat room and we'll chat. Okay? So thanks everybody for being here. And I'm very grateful. I want you to know how much love I feel coming from you folks, how much love I have for everybody, and the fact that you've been willing to journey with me and take this long, long discussion, the story, Spirit says, that's been unfolding. So thank you very much for that. I'll look forward to seeing you in October.